Hey, Vanessa, how are you today?
I'm really good. It's 2/22/22. It's supposed to be a very special day,
Well, it is a
mathematics.
special day. It's also my son's birthday, so how cool is that?
Wow! Oh my gosh, happy birthday, your son.
Well,
Wow.
thank you. I know I only look 25, Vanessa, but he's 26 today. So how's that?
I was gonna say he was like he's like 6 or something. I'm
You're
like,
too kind. You're too kind. You see, we're
seriously.
already getting off to a good start and we're already best friends. I appreciate this. Vanessa, so great to talk to you. Congratulations. This is a long time coming with this film. It must feel like you made it forever ago.
We did. We made it in 2015, so it's
I
taken a long time to come out.
I know. Well, finally it's coming out. Finally, people are going to be able to enjoy it. And it's such a great little psychological thriller. It had that, to me, when I was watching it, that Coen Brothers kind of feel to it, right?
Oh my gosh, you're very perceptive because that's exactly when I read it. That's exactly the feeling that I got from it too.
Yeah, and I was wondering, like, when you did read it, and then realizing like you were going to play this tormented woman, like, whoa, what was kind of your initial reaction to it, and then thinking about how you were going to play her.
Well, it was difficult because I actually got the movie about 5 days before we started shooting, so I had very, very little prep time. And
Whoa.
I had the same feeling when I first read it. It has a slightly, it was very dark and but comedic, and it had a sort of satirical feeling to it too. And I sat with the director Rob, who was incredible, um, and it was actually kind of an interesting. I don't know if anybody knows this, but the guy who plays Alex was my real life husband at the time. So we had a sort of built-in relationship, obviously, because we've been married for a long, long time.
I
And
think.
yeah, so that was really interesting. But we actually hadn't ever done a movie together, but we, every time we would get an audition, we worked together. So we were sort of used to that process. And when we got home from the end of shooting, we could work on the scenes for the next day. So that was really helpful. But yeah, I had to do a deep dive because I haven't really had the chance to play this kind of character in my career before.
Right. And it must have been a huge challenge for you because, like you say, first of all, you only had a few days to kind of get into her mind. But this woman is being tormented, not just by her dead husband, and now she's got the stepson to deal with and all these, exterior things going on. How do you even like prepare to get into that woman's head?
Yeah, I mean, to me, it was like I have to sort of look at like what is it about, and to me, it was really about if you don't live in your truth, then you're easily manipulated, and you're easily it causes bitterness and resentment, and I think that she's unraveling through this moment, but especially because her stepson comes home and she's has to confront it, she has to deal with what's brought her here.
Yeah.
So it was hard. It was a sort of a painful experience, not painful, but it was, because even though you're acting, you have to feel some of those feelings. So it was a very grueling shoot, and we actually shot at night, so it was even
Oh,
harder because we would like finish at 6 a.m. and then I would sort of go home and try to sleep, but it's hard to sleep during the day when noise in LA is happening. So I was completely exhausted by the end of this movie experience. So we shot it in, I think, 15 days. So it was also
wow.
like, super fast. So I didn't really have time to sort of, wallow in, oh my gosh, how do I do this?
Yeah, yeah. And how much collaboration did you have with Robert, the director? I love his stuff. I think he's such a great
Okay.
director. But as you say, this is just like get it done, run and get it done. But was there a lot of collaboration with him, or did he kind of just let you like just do your thing?
Yeah, I mean, he was great. I mean, I had sat with him when he offered me the movie, and we had a long conversation about the story and about my character. So by the time we started shooting, I had a sort of sense of what he was looking for. But he's a very open, he's just a lovely person. So that creates a really nice vibe on the set.
Yeah.
But he was very open. Like he was very like if you had a different idea about something, he was completely allowed you to do what you felt. I mean, he was He was great. He was great. It was sort of it was totally a collaboration.
Yeah, and also with the other actors on set as well. I mean, as you said, your husband was everything, but also, Billy Zane. We've seen him in so many things. He can be pretty intense, but he can be a pretty funny guy too. What
Yes.
was it like to have those scenes with him?
Oh, it was great. I actually ran into him at a Comic-Con last summer, so that was nice. I hadn't seen him since that movie.
Wow.
Yeah, he really, I mean, he comes in and he's done his work. He elevates anything he's in. Like he wants to know exactly what's behind everything. And even though the scenes we had together were sort of brief, he he's just an amazing actor, and that he wants to like do the work, and he wants to make the scene, he wants to transcend the material even, and the material was good to begin with. So he was a joy. I mean, we felt so blessed to have him, and he was only shot, I think, for 3 days, but so they were, I don't think they even had him set once we started shooting. So he was sort of a last minute get. And
Yeah.
so excited to have him play that part.
Yeah, it must be fun. I was saying, like we said, it's been what now, 7 years since you shot this film. And clearly, I mean, you've done things in between and everything. What is it like to talk about a film that, has been sitting on a shelf for so long? I mean, I know that we've all been sitting on the shelf for 2 years, that's for sure. But,
Yeah, right.
and then to be able to finally bring it to the world and talk about it,
Well, that's a very good question, because it was actually, I watched it again last week because I hadn't, looked at it since we shot it, and
Sure.
it was quite. I mean, I'm probably revealing too much, but my marriage actually fell apart in real life
Oh,
after
sorry to
that.
hear that. Yeah.
Yeah, so it was extra painful because what's happened, the 7 years since that movie happened has been a very, very difficult time in my life.
Oh,
So
yeah.
it's really, it's on a sort of double level. It's been hard, but I mean, obviously, I've made peace with that now. But
Yeah.
it just sort of reminded me of the journey I've had on a personal level in the last few years as
Yeah,
well.
completely understand that. When you look back at your career, you've been in some pretty great things. And, what was the role for you, Vanessa, that literally just changed your life?
Wow. Well, I think in a way it was probably Weird Science,
Yeah.
even though it's a fluffy comedic show.
Oh,
Um,
no, it was popular. I mean, you talk Comic-Con, right? Like there's fans out there.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it was really because I really didn't even know I could do comedy before that experience. And so, and when you're working day in, day out for 4 years on a show, you learn how to show up and be the best you can be. And it's such a complex experience that I think that it was instrumental to me being a better actor, even though it wasn't like, deep, dark, intense work. It was just the experience of, being
Yeah.
working week in, week out for years is really valuable.
Yeah. And then having the opportunity too to work with somebody like, in Kickpin with Woody Harrelson.
Oh yeah.
What was
Yeah.
that like? Because that he's God, boy, this he just surprises me with every role that he takes because it's so different,
Different, right? Yeah. I mean, I was so blessed to get that movie. I mean, I was the dark horse to get that movie because they were, looking at J-Lo and like, much bigger actors than me. And so and Peter Farrelly had seen me in Weird Science, and he wanted like a combination of sort of ball busting, but very sweet at the same time.
Yeah,
So he felt that I was, the right Claudia for Kingpin. And I mean, that obviously changed my life too, because that was, the first really sort of, other than Spies, I guess the first really sort of studio movie lead that I'd ever done. So,
yeah.
but yeah, and obviously, and Bill Murray, was incredible,
Oh,
and Randy Quaid. I mean, it was just, and the Farrellys, they make it like it's like a family feeling. I mean, they literally like have their friends and family come and do little cameos during a movie.
yeah.
So, and they just have they're just such lovely, warm people that again, it's like whoever's sort of at the helm of a project creates the feeling. So if you have somebody good at the top, it really makes a big difference. So it was.
Oh, 100%, 100%. So what's next? What are we going to see you in after people get to see you in this? You
Well, I
clearly
actually,
must have worked on something over the last few years.
Obviously COVID, like things kind of like got quiet, but I did a movie last year with Megan Fox that called Johnny and Clyde, which is
Oh,
kind of
cool.
a Bonnie and Clyde. So that's coming out. And then I just was in Mexico doing a movie called Deadly Games, which is a sort of another thriller about this crypto mogul that I play.
Cool.
And I'm about to go do 2 Christmas movies in Rhode Island.
All right.
But they're actually really good. I mean, that one's called Merry Xmas, and I'm doing that with Jason London. And it's actually a really sweet script. And then the other one's called Ice Wars, and they're
Nice.
both for I think Lifetime or Hallmark. Can't remember which, but
Yeah. One of those. Yeah.
yeah, but they're really good. And then there's possibly going to be Kingpin 2 shooting this
I
year. So
hadn't heard that. Oh, did you,
oh yeah,
have you been given a script?
I haven't been giving a script, but I did get word from Peter Farrelly that it's happening. That Claude, my character, is in the script and
Wow.
very much in the script. And it's just sort of now, like I guess, logistics of getting everybody together at the same time. So yeah, so that would be incredibly exciting. It's sort of strange to do a sequel 25 years later. But
That's okay. Listen, you know,
yeah,
everybody's doing it, and everybody loves that kind of. We love seeing people, you know, 25 years later and where it can take them. I think it's awesome. Well, fingers crossed for that. Vanessa, thank you so much for your time today. It was lovely chatting with you. I hope people watch Trouble Sleeping. It's a good psychological thriller and keeps you on the edge of your seat. That's for sure. And just best of luck to you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Nice to meet you.
You too. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.